How many burgers and fries did we eat on takeaway nights? How many miles did we burn just to see a little of the world? How many times did we say we'll forever be this way? How many days did we spend wishing we were never left to end? We weren't perfect for each other, but we were running away from another love. Couldn't get enough, did everything we dreamed of. In 2016 in Seattle, I hope you know that I'm thankful for all we did and all we tried to do. Sometimes I still dream of you.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to a day in my life, and a very exciting one today in my opinion, because I'm going to be painting my new bathroom. We are currently 3 whole weeks into this renovation and it is not finished. Hopefully by the end of next week it will be done. I'm actually not too hopeful at this point because the brand new floor we had installed has been damaged during the renovation, and so the company who are renovating are now having to replace all of that, which is obviously a setback, and a lot of the stuff like the bath and everything that's already been plumbed in is going to have to come out so that they're able to do that. And then they have like a bunch of bits to finish up. But today I'm going to get the paint on the walls because the only responsibility I have during this whole process is to paint. So that is what I'm going to be tackling today. Before I get into that, I'll give you a little tour of what we've got so far because everything is pretty much in. It's just like a little bit of cabinetry and tiling that needs finishing up on like extra bits that they've built, and like fixtures, like we're having a shelf put up and a mirror and that kind of thing. But aside from the fact that the floor now needs replacing, all of the big stuff is in there. So I'll give you guys a look around, but at the minute I am currently reading 2 books. So the book that I was reading this morning is my reread of Blood and Steel by Helen Shora, which is for my Patreon book club. We're reading the entire Legends of Thesmar series. For February we're going to be reading the standalone, which is Slaying the Shadow Prince. But as Blood and Steel was a reread for me, I just wanted to read Blood and Steel and Vows and Ruins pretty much back to back and combine that into one spoilery vlog to post on Patreon. So I've just started that and I'm 30% of the way into it, having a really good time. I realized immediately as soon as I started that book that I remembered very little about it, so it's nice to get back into it because I did really enjoy it when I read it last March or April, I think, so almost a year ago. But while I'm doing the painting today, I'm hoping to make a really big dent in an audiobook. And I did think about getting Blood and Steel as an audio because I don't even know if it has one. I'm assuming that it does because it is an indie series. But I thought while it was a reread, because I would never normally pick up a romantasy for an audio, I thought it would be okay because I've already read it, so it doesn't matter too much if I miss little bits. But I actually have a book on my TBR that I've heard has an excellent audiobook, and I have listened to, I think, like maybe the first 20 minutes when I was putting the miscoat on the walls last weekend, but I'm going to be continuing on with that today, and that is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This one I'm pretty sure would be a lit fic. It has like a blend of genres in it. It has a historical element because it's set in Spain in the 1940s. It also has a fantastical element because it's about a man who takes his son to a bookshop and asks him to choose a book, and the boy picks a book called The Shadow of the Wind. And I need to keep thinking to make sure I'm getting the name of that book right and I'm not calling it The Name of the Wind, which is a completely different book. But the book that he picks is called The Shadow of the Wind, and I believe that it's like transportative. I haven't really got into it yet. Like the 20 minutes that I listened to was just kind of talking about the bookshop. So I'm excited to see where it goes. It is a very highly rated book. A lot of people love it. I feel like this is weird because a lot of people love the trope of like a book within a book. I don't care that much. It's not like a buzzword for me. So I'm interested to see how I feel about this one, but the audio has been recommended to me. So while I'm going to be spending a couple of hours painting today, I thought it would be a good opportunity to make a decent dent in that, because man, is your girl behind on her TBR. Okay, are we ready for the grand reveal of the new and improved bathroom? If you guys saw any of this bathroom before, you will know how much of an improvement it is. But we have this gorgeous freestanding bath. We are having an issue with hot water, which I think is more of a boiler issue than it is like a plumbing issue, but we're currently trying to puzzle that out. Potentially a faulty tap, but I actually don't think that it is. Look at this shower. Look at it. I haven't actually had a chance to use it yet because it was fitted. Like the shower's been in for over a week now, but I'm scared of it. The enclosure was only fitted 2 days ago. And so we've been waiting for the silicone to dry, but I finally get to try this out tonight, and I'm so excited. One thing that was a must for this bathroom was that I had like a rainfall shower head. There was no compromising with me on that. It had to happen. And this is also like just a lot bigger than the shower that we had, which is nice. I am slightly scared of the enclosure though, and I know that it's perfectly safe. Like it's designed to be like this. It's an almost frameless design. And so I'm scared because like I'm pretty sure the only things holding this up is like 6 screws and the silicone seal in it. It freaks me out a little bit. Over here we have a mirror. This isn't wired in yet because we need the electrician to come, and I've ordered a light fitting which hasn't arrived yet. So when that comes, he will come and wire up both of these. But then we also have this basin unit, and we have this gap here which was supposed to be boxed in. This is the boxing that was done yesterday, so the last thing to be added in here, and it needs grouting and stuff. But this was also supposed to be boxed, but the guy who came to do it was like, you know what, it's just gonna look terrible. So he's come up with a different solution. He's found, because the top was supposed to be tiled, but we have this composite that's gonna go like in that gap there, and their joiner is building us a little shelf unit, so it'll just have like 2 shelves just like slide in there with the countertop on top to kind of like fill in the alcove, which is good because this is currently the main storage that we have. I have bought a big shelf to go here. It's the same as the one in my living room, like the big timberboard shelf. So we'll have that. And then I've also bought some extra bits from Next to like have around. We're going to get like a little shower caddy to go in the corner. And I've also bought like a 3-tier thing that's going to go somewhere around to store like the bath stuff, because obviously we don't have bath corners anymore. These are the paint samples. So today I'm going to be getting this on the walls, which I'm so excited about. And this is the colour we've gone for the ceiling. I originally wanted to go with this one, which is like a bit of a warmer white, but I just think since I've had the actual sample on the wall, I feel like it looks really dirty and worn down in comparison to like the tiles, and obviously the mist coat's not staying, but just having it next to the white, I feel like it looks really dull and dingy. So we're going with this, but this is like the brightest, most boring white that ever existed, and it's only for the ceiling, so I guess that's fine. But also I had to buy a full tin of paint for this, which wasn't cheap, so I'm also not happy about that because it's just for the ceiling. So I contemplated colour drenching in the burgundy, but I just don't think that that is going to be a good look. I feel like we need to, because it's a bathroom and the tile is white, I feel like if I went burgundy, because we have like, this is a full wall of tile, and then the alcove here is also a full wall of tile. I feel like having those breaks between this and the burgundy ceiling would just look really odd. So I'm going to get set up for painting and cover up the areas that I'm working with. I think I'm going to be starting off with the ceiling, which I don't really want to do. I bought some new equipment so I can get in the hard to reach places because I can't get ladders up here to get like a clean line across here. So I bought like those edging pads, and I'm not feeling super confident, but I think I'm going to cover everything up, start with the ceiling and see how that goes.
The feeling, I crack a smile when my heart's bleeding on the floor. I guess you clean out my drawer, 'cause we don't talk anymore.
So the paint that we got was Lick Supreme Flat Matte. This one is their kind of like all surface paint, and it's also the one that they recommend for kitchens and bathrooms because of the moisture. I am annoyed that I had to buy a tin of white paint just for the ceiling, but all of the white paint that we've got is just regular like wall and ceiling paint. It's not for bathrooms, so it needs must. And then the colour for the walls, which I am really excited about, it does say that this is for north, east and west facing rooms, and this one is southwest. And if you go on the product page for this colour, which is red number 6, it has like a almost washed out, faded kind of look to it in different lights. So we've had that sample up for pretty much a week now, and it has always looked like the rich burgundy that I want it to look, but we haven't had any sun, like no sun at all, no sunny days in this entire week. And so I'm worried that when the sun goes on it, it's going to give that washed out look. But realistically, I do live in England, and like half of the year, there's not going to be much sun. So I'm sure I'll live. And you know what? If it's really bothering me, I'll just put the blind down when I'm in the bathroom. So I'm going to start with the ceiling. Did buy some edging tools. Well, hey, I got this just to make my life easier. I normally just cut in regularly, but I thought I'd try that for some of the maybe more awkward places. And I got an extra pad, and this set, I didn't need the tray that came with it, but the pad that they go onto, which is like this, the other one that you could buy on its own without the tray, just had the handle, it didn't have the pole hole. Which is funny. So I hope that I have a pole that fits that, because they didn't sell any poles that didn't have rollers attached, but like permanently attached, so you can't take the roller off. I do have a roller pole, I just don't know whether it's going to fit. And yeah, that's my equipment. I'm really nervous about using this because I do normally just cut in by hand, but we'll see. I just don't want to put ladders in the shower or anything, because there is already a little scratch in there that they've done once again while fit in the bathroom, but they're gonna buff it out with resin, and I just don't want to risk scratching it anymore. So above the bath and in the corner of the shower, I'll do with the edge pads, and hopefully it turns out okay. There we go.
How many nights
That's
I go out, always had something to talk about. Palace kitchen, sitting and listening, feet on the floor and up in the clouds. We weren't perfect for each other, but we were running away from another love. Couldn't get enough, did everything we dreamed of. In 2016 in Seattle, I hope you know that I'm thankful for all we did and all we tried to.
So at this point it is now, I thought I put my phone in pen, but I didn't, it's fine. At this point it is 11:50 and I have pretty much just finished the first coat on the ceiling. Not that you can tell, it was a really difficult painting experience actually, because there are marks on the ceiling from like the work that's been done, grout, that kind of thing. Aside from that, the ceiling, the original colour of the ceiling was just a really flat, bright white. Exactly the same as the colour that I've just been painting onto it. So I was kind of like dancing around trying to find light to see where I'd been and where I hadn't been. It definitely, I mean, I would do a second coat anyway, but it definitely needs a second coat because there are still visible marks that you can see, like the dark marks of the grout through the paint. So it says on the tin to wait 2 to 4 hours between coats, which I started at 10:30. So if I start in the same place again, that brings me to 2:30. I'm going to go make some food now for sure, but I don't know what to do because I don't really want to. Can I do the red? Can I do a coat of red while I'm waiting? Is that allowed? Because it is kind of dry. It's not like it's wet in the corners, but you need to sand some little bits where there's just like little paint bumps. So I don't know. We'll see.
Thankful for all we did and all we tried to do. Sometimes I still dream of you, and some evenings I still feel it. I crack a smile when my heart's bleeding on the floor. I guess you cleaned out my drawers, 'cause we don't talk anymore. And I'll always remember our last day, November 17th. We didn't want to wake up from our dream. From 2016, Seattle, I hope you know that I'm thankful for all we did and all we tried to do.
Okay, so I finished the ceiling now. There are a couple of like lumps and bumps in there because we didn't have the ceiling replastered. We've just sanded down the bumps ourselves, and so it's not perfectly smooth, but I feel like I'm happy with the finish. I mean, it's just the ceiling. I'm definitely more particular about the walls than I am the ceiling, but now, speaking of those walls, I'm gonna do something that I shouldn't really be doing right now, and I have got the red out, which can I tilt this down? Look! And the reason why I shouldn't be doing this right now is because the ceiling is still wet, so I can't sand all the way up the walls to the top to get any like paint streaks, brush strips and stuff out of it before I paint. But I am really impatient, so I'm going to just paint straight out the tin with a brush. I'm going to paint the inside of the windows because this is like a box. It doesn't touch any of the ceiling in any way, and just see what the colour ends up looking like. I'm so impatient, I'm so excited. So yeah, this is the part that I've been waiting for. The ceiling is boring. Nobody wants to paint a ceiling, but the walls in such a lovely colour. Let's go. So I decided to let the paint completely dry for an hour and stop being impatient so that I can hopefully get in there and sand down the walls a little bit. They don't need too much, just to give it a little bit of a key, and maybe get the first coat of the red on. I've left the red that I did around the window to dry as well. It was drying incredibly quickly, which honestly I've never used lick paint before, so I don't know how quick drying it is. It doesn't say actually on the tin, because I said that it did. It doesn't say on the tin how long it takes to dry. I looked it up and it said you should wait 4 hours before doing a second coat, but I had no problem putting a second coat on the ceiling. But I want to leave it at least the minimum 2 hours that you should leave it before I start attempting to do anything close to the ceiling. I am really worried that when I go in with the red, especially above the bath, I'm not going to be able to get clean lines up there, because when I tried to use that pad, it was horrific and it just did not work in any like feasible way. So I've been using a little tiny step stool on top of a bath mat in the bath to protect the bath and give me a little bit of height without trying to put ladders or anything in there, which is just going to be a disaster. So we'll see how that works out. But I've decided that I'm just going to come and sit down and read for an hour. The person that was supposed to be coming to look at the floor has not been yet. I'm honestly, at this point, it's 3 o'clock. I'm doubting whether they are going to come, which when he told me yesterday that they were going to come and look at it on a Saturday, I was surprised, but I was like, cool, whatever, none of my business. You're telling me tomorrow. And now, because it is Saturday and it's 3 o'clock, I'm like, are you actually going to come though? So sadly, Curtis has gone out on his own because we want some more bits from Next that aren't available online. I will show you at some point, maybe when I go back upstairs, the little caddy that I bought. I also bought like a little tabletop mirror because I need one. I don't have one for my makeup. Like if I want to do my makeup, which I have been doing, because I typically do it in the bathroom, but without having full access to the bathroom, I've been doing it on the kitchen table with a tiny little broken handheld mirror. So I got like a stand mirror that matches, which was unnecessary, but whatever, it's really nice. I'll show you that. But we also wanted a wall-mounted toilet roll holder when we thought that they were going to be doing the boxing next to the sink, but they decided it would look better if they did something else. So as I said, they're putting a little unit in with a couple of shelves. So now there's nowhere to mount that toilet roll holder, so we're getting a floor standing one that matches the other stuff that we bought. And I also wanted a pedal bin in that range, and they have one in stock in one of our more close stores, but I was obviously hoping to go out because I love a trip to somewhere that sells homeware. So I was going to go to Next with him, but as they've not been to look at the floor yet, and we did go to Next, Dunelm, The Range, B&Q and everything last weekend, I was like, okay, I don't need to go. I guess I'll stay home. Obviously, it's frustrating if I've waited in and they don't come, but I didn't need to go anyway. It's probably better for my bank account that I didn't go, because I'd probably end up with something that I didn't need, like the mirror. just like what happened last week. But while I have been painting, I have been listening to The Shadow of the Wind. I haven't moved my bookmark yet, but I'm on chapter 12. I'm listening to it on 1.5 times speed, which is what I like to do if I'm listening to an audiobook and doing something that requires like any kind of modicum of thought at the same time, because I'm not the best with audiobooks and retaining. I have to be doing certain activities to be able to listen to an audiobook. So I'm on chapter 12, which to be fair is 92 pages in. This one is it's 500 pages. I didn't think it was quite that big. It's 506. Right now, I don't really know what the point is. And this is where I struggle sometimes with literary fiction, because it's not that the book necessarily needs to have a point, but I feel like I would like to know whether it does have one before I go into it, because otherwise I keep kind of trying to figure out what the point is going to be. And if it doesn't end up having one and it's more about the vibes or like the characters, then I find that I've got to the end of the book and I feel really unfulfilled because I've spent the whole time trying to figure out what's going on. But this so far is kind of following this boy's life. It actually reads like a classic. When was this written? It was published in Spain in 2002, so it's actually not quite. I thought it was early 2000s, but I thought the original, like the untranslated original Spanish version, would have been published a little bit earlier than that. It's 2002, but it does definitely read like, I feel like something like The Great Gatsby, where we're locked in the perspective of a character who is recounting a certain period of time in their life. This starts when the boy is, I think, 11, where his dad has this used bookstore and he takes his son there and tells him that every boy or every person, I guess, I don't know if they're all boys, in the family, when they get to a certain age, they have to choose a book from this bookstore and they have to become the caretakers of it. So this boy picks a book called The Shadow of the Wind, and it then just kind of follows him growing up, his relationship with his dad. He meets this blind girl and she's like 11 years older than him, but she's just kind to him, but he develops a crush that becomes a little bit of an infatuation. It becomes a little bit inappropriate, but mainly because of his youth and how he feels about her versus how she feels about him, and she kind of like draws a boundary there, and it follows like his feelings regarding that. But the main reason he came into contact with her is because she is interested in the author of The Shadow of the Wind, which is the name of the book that he picked from the bookstore. And while all of this is unfolding, people are approaching him and showing interest in the book, and it seems like some of the people he's meeting in real life are very reminiscent of characters within the book. So it all does center around this book, but I think it also centers the parallels between the book and what's happening in real life, and he is trying to figure out like where this book was published, what else the author has written. And it seems like the book was written by somebody who was never that successful, but it almost has a little bit of a cult following and some strange happenings surrounding it and surrounding the author and the books. So right now, I'll be honest, I'm not loving it, but that is because I don't really know where the story is going. I'm just kind of like along for the ride at this point in the story, which is fine, I guess, but I don't have overwhelming desire to continue to read it. I think if I put this book down right now, I wouldn't think about it very often and wonder kind of where the story is going. I am, of course, going to continue. I have a lot of painting still to do, which will get me through a big chunk, and then I'll just continue to chip away at the audio until we're done and kind of see where this one takes me. But I don't really have an opinion on it right now. I'm not super into the story. So that's where I'm currently at with that one. And I'm now going to pick up a little bit of Blood and Steel and just read essentially until it's time for me to go back up to the bathroom and see what's going on up there. I am making the spoiler vlog for my patrons on this one. I'm 28% of the way through. Ideally, I would have this finished by this weekend because I will be starting a regular weekly reading vlog on Monday, and I'm not too bothered about vlogging my experience with this one in a regular vlog format because I have already read it. So you guys, if you want more information on this and my initial thoughts, my original thoughts on my first read through, you can check out the Romantasy rundown. I think it was episode 3 or 4 that I read this one. I will of course link it in the cards for you guys. So because I don't really need to recap my thoughts in a non-spoilery matter, if I could have this done before I start that weekly vlog, that would of course be amazing. But this one is a Romantasy following a girl who wants to be a legend of Thesma, or a warrior of Thesma, should we say. The legends are like a step up and not everybody gets to be one of those. But she's not even allowed to be a warrior because there is a prophecy in this world that a girl that wields a blade is going to bring about the end of the world. So they essentially removed all of the female warriors of Thesma, and they're no longer training women, but this woman accidentally does a favor for a king who allows her to be an exception to the rule. So she ends up training to become one of these warriors, which is her ultimate dream. The thing about this, and the reason why I feel like I've forgotten so much about what happened when I read it originally, is actually because it's just so easy to read that I feel like I'm not properly locked in. Like, I can read 10% in the blink of an eye and not really know how it's passed so quickly. So I'm trying to take my time a little bit more with this, just retain it a little bit more, because I know I did forget so much about the first time around. But so far so good. I'm still really enjoying it, probably equally as I did the first time that I read it. So we're now that I've nattered at you guys for 10 minutes, it's like nearly 20 past 3. So I'm just going to sit and read for like 40 minutes and then go have a look at my paintwork.
Every time I think of summertime, girl, I think of you. I think of caramel skin, your curly hair, and 3 bird tattoos. Every time I scroll through a photo album, I always feel nostalgia mixed with emptiness, 'cause we thought we were limitless. But now, oh now, I wonder if you think of me, or am I just a memory? If so, please don't tell me, 'cause I've been holding on to fantasies that we could be together for eternity. I just had to leave and get my grad degree, baby. Sweet home California, baby, how I miss the beach. Been in New York City 7 days and I can't even sleep. Sweet home California, miss that sunshine on my skin. I've been daydreaming about you and me and what we could have been. Oh, you know, I'll make it back to you. I'll make it back to you one day. Oh, you know, I'll make it back to you.
So I just got back from taking Carmi out for a walk in the rain, which is why I'm now looking bedraggled. And just before we left, she smacked me in the face. So I have a really red, aggressive line on my lip. But let me show you how the bathroom looks right now. She's red. I feel like I haven't gotten used to it yet. I need to see it in daylight. But this wall that is behind the door is pretty much perfect. Even the cutting in at the top, flawless. And you know why? Because that's the one wall that I could actually reach with a ladder. I should have been filming when I was trying to cut in this wall up above me. Don't look. You know what? I'm pulling it back. Don't look at it. It's a mess. You know why? I was stood on a beanbag in the bath to try and do it. It was not going well. So there are places where I've got to touch up the ceiling. I definitely need to do a second coat. There's a lot of patchiness, especially where I've been cutting in. But there's also a roller mark on the ceiling there that's red, which isn't good. It's fine. This is not going to be as much of a nightmare as the bedroom was, but I am going to get out my tiny little paintbrush that I used for touch-ups in the bedroom. If you guys were around for those days, damn, was that a rough paint job. This one should be a lot easier. But now I'm just going to clean up the stuff that's still on the bathroom floor, and I'm going to clean the shower because it still has like construction dust and stuff in it. And then I'm going to get in and I'm going to have my first shower. And I'm so excited. I need it as well. I haven't washed my hair since like maybe Tuesday, and I washed it in the bath, which is my own personal nightmare. Like I was too tired to wash it over the bath before I got in the bath, but I have major regrets because my hair's been like straw since Tuesday.
Summer days, we used to roller skate, swim in the ocean waves, hold you by the waist, my darling. But now summer's here, my baby's nowhere near. My head feels empty like the home that she left, empty like the hole in my chest. But now, oh now, I wonder if you think of me, or am I just a memory? If so, please don't tell me, 'cause I've been holding on
So last night after I finished blow drying my hair, I looked at the time and it was like 10:30, 10:45, and I was like, hot damn, because bear in mind, we've been getting up at like 6:30 because the people working on the bathroom have been turning up between 8 and 9. So we want to be done in the bathroom completely, ready for the day by the time that they get here. So I've been going to bed at 9 p.m, but because it took me so long to put the first coat of red on the walls, we only had dinner at I think 7, which is a couple of hours later than we normally do. And I was like, I'll just wrap up the vlog in the morning. It's fine. So I read a couple of chapters of my book. I think I read about 15% yesterday, and I didn't listen to any more of The Shadow of the Wind because I was listening for the door while I came up to do this first coat because Curtis was still out, and they were supposed to come and assess the floor. They did not assess the floor yesterday, which, like I said, I thought that they maybe weren't going to, and it was fine. But I read a couple of chapters of my book, and I really thought, because I had been so keyed up and active throughout the day, I thought I was going to struggle to sleep, but I fell asleep pretty quickly. And then I wake up, Curtis wakes me up at midnight, and he bursts into the room and he's like, Becca, there's water coming through the living room ceiling. And I was like, excuse me? I actually thought in that moment, I thought that he was waking me up to tell me they were here to look at the floor, because I was asleep. Like, I thought that it was like morning and they just turned up really early and like I was still in bed. So yeah, I went downstairs and there was indeed water coming through the living room ceiling. The floor was wet, the rug was wet. Weirdly, the couch was wet, but just the bottom of the couch, like the back. Because where the water was coming through the ceiling was just behind the couch, and it was just the bottom, so it hasn't been running down the couch, and I'm still confused about that. Was there like just a big stream of water that came out of the ceiling and then kind of stopped? I don't know, but I rang my dad. It was 11:45, and I rang my dad because I was like, what the fuck do I do? It turns out anyway that the likelihood is that the drain, the waste on the shower wasn't connected properly, or it's split, or there's some sort of issue with it. So when we were showering last night, at least some of the water has just been running under the floor. And I'm sad about it, because that was actually a really luxurious shower experience. I had a whale of a time in there. It was amazing. Shame it wasn't plumbed in properly though. So we contacted our plumber, who does not work for this company, but I know that he does little bits for them, because we only have like an office showroom number for them, not like a emergency out of hours number. Still waiting for them to get back to us because our plumber contacted them for us. So I guess they're just going to turn up to work tomorrow morning, and I'm going to be like, dude, like Saturday night water was streaming through my ceiling. But I think the guy who's turning up tomorrow actually is not a plumber. If he's the guy who was here on Friday, he is, I don't know what his official job title is, but he was here to do like the boxing, the tiling. And I know that he's not a plumber. So they better send a plumber tomorrow morning. And not only are they going to be taking up the vinyl floor, seems like they're going to be ripping up the whole floor, because they need to get under the shower tray and plumb it properly. So yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm not that pressed about this. I'm more pressed about, like, I mentioned there's a scratch in the shower tray. That gives me anxiety, even though they're going to buff it out. But the water streaming through my living room ceiling for some reason, I'm actually quite chill about. And we went with a company, like I said, that handles the entire process to make it easier. Because for a bathroom or a kitchen, it's such a functional space that I want the whole process, even though it costs a lot more money, I want the whole process to be as streamlined and easy and not stressful as possible. And even though this has happened, I still stand by going that route, because I don't have to argue with men who come into my house and tell them they're doing a shit job. I just ring their boss and it's sorted. So yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna have a bathroom though. I'm supposed to be, and I am going to be working on the paint today. Specifically, I think I want to neaten up the line between the ceiling and the wall. Might not bother with a second coat, because now they're going to be taking so much out of the bathroom. Potentially they're going to scuff the paintwork, so I might as well wait for the full second coat. And as you can see, actually, the coverage on one coat is amazing. The only issues are, of course, that line between the ceiling and the wall, and also a little bit around the edges where it's been a brush and not a roller are looking a little bit wishy-washy. But I'm really, really impressed with this paint, and it's given like a really nice matte effect without the hassle of a premium paint like Faro and Ball. So very impressed with the lick paint that I've used so far. And now that the colour's fully dried, I really, really love it. I was worried it would be too red, but it's exactly as I imagined it would be. Story time aside, I am here to give you that next haul that I promised you before I wrap up this vlog. So as you may have seen while we've been talking, this is the little 3-tier caddy that I was talking about. This is a gold rib, I think it's called, 3-tier bath caddy from Next. We also got the matching squeegee. Was this necessary? Absolutely not. But I did pick that up. I did, wait a minute. Oh, it's here. I was like, I definitely brought that mirror upstairs. Where did I put it? This is the mirror that I bought as well that I said that I didn't need. Look, you can see yourself. Hey. I used this morning though to put my makeup on because I had to film my unboxing because I know for sure that they're going to be here tomorrow and probably making quite a bit of noise, and I'm going to London on Tuesday, so that video needed filming before then because on Wednesday I'm getting back at like 2 in the morning. So on Wednesday I don't think I'm going to be in the mood to film and edit. So yeah, I used this today. It's probably going to live on the window ledge, and then when I use it, I'll carry about to wherever it needs to be. The things that I sent Curtis out for yesterday, specifically the toilet roll holder, because as I said, we were going to have a wall mounted one, but now that they're not doing the boxing as we thought they were going to, I picked up this one, and it is quite short because you guys are on the toilet, and the toilet we got is comfort height because she asked me what height do you want and didn't know that was an option. This bitch is tall. She's a tall ass toilet. So I'm actually going to put this, I think, on the boxing that like hides the waste pipe. I'll show you guys. Here. I think I'm going to put it on here, and then you can just kind of like reach for it, because originally I was going to put the wall mounted one like here, but they're putting shelves there instead now. And they have 2 different sizes of bin at Next. I actually really like the big one, and previously we did have 2 bins in here. We had a little pedal bin and a larger one for recycling, but I don't think we have space anymore because like the bath and the shower and the unit and everything is so much bigger than the stuff that we originally had in here. So we got the pedal bin, which has been a nightmare to try and get online. Apparently everybody wants the pedal bin. And then while Curtis was there, I asked him to pick up the soap dispenser as well. I don't know if I'm going to keep this. If I see a nicer soap dispenser, I may swap it out. But because this gold rib collection keeps going out of stock and I have so many pieces from it, I was like, just pick it up, and if I change my mind, we can just take it back and return it. So yeah, and I think like even just like the background of this with the metro towel, the red, the black unit, the caddy, everything's coming together. Unfortunately, it is also all coming apart literally when they have to dismantle the entire bathroom before they put it back together, which is a shame because it is looking really nice and cozy in here right now. But anyway, that brings us to the end of this vlog. That was a day in my life. I originally thought like, oh, this was like super uneventful. I thought it would be fun to paint, but then realistically I was so preoccupied with painting that I feel like I didn't vlog as much as I typically would in this style of vlog. And then, you know, the universe heard me say that my day wasn't eventful enough and my living room ceiling started to fall in. So that's great. That was me being dramatic. The ceiling isn't actually falling in. The water's just like come through and it stopped dripping now. So, I mean, they're going to have to get under the floorboards and make sure everything's dry under there because this is an old ass house and I don't want it to rot. But yeah, the plaster isn't crumbling down. The ceiling is still currently intact. And we do have the water on because we are pretty sure that it is just the waste that's leaking. And I think that that is accurate because we've had the water on like all day now and no more dripping. But yeah, that was a day in my life. Bathroom renovation edition. I hope you guys did enjoy this one. Let me know down below whether you would like any more vlogs like this in the future. And if you did enjoy this vlog, you can thank Miss Aaron from Booked and Busy, who is the person who reminds me every 3 or so months that we are due a day in the life vlog. So you know what, I'm going to keep making them for Aaron anyway, so I hope that you also did enjoy them. But if you did enjoy this one, then please don't forget to like if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go and nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.